Ladies and gentlemen, something happened at KFC's 15th anniversary celebration yesterday. And honestly, it was both funny and worrying at the same time. And before you say, Kofi, what happened? Let me tell you. So, KFC Ghana was celebrating its 15th anniversary on Saturday. In fact, they have been in Ghana for 15 years now, and as part of its marketing strategy, decided that because it's their 15th anniversary, they are going to sell their chicken at 15 Ghana cedis. So on August 15, 2026, they actually decided to open all their shops and sell all the chicken at 15 Ghana cedis. Yeah, I mean 15 Ghana cedis, which is less than $2. Check it out. So in my mind, I thought Ghanaians, we have passed this level. Maybe a few people will go there. After all, what? But I was shocked when I started seeing some of the videos circulating on TikTok and other platforms. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. KFC at 15 cedis. And people are queuing like they are going to get a visa for heaven. Let me show you some of the videos. Just look at some of the videos. Wow, this is not funny. I even learned some people slept a day before the promotion. They slept around these KFC branches. They brought bed and slept just because of 15 cedis chicken. And you know, the last thing I was expecting to see was such an overcrowding, such a disorder, and even the damages at some of these locations that I'm seeing, because people are forcing just to go and get a chicken at 15 Ghana cedis. To the point I even saw some grown men and women fighting over a chicken that they're selling at 15 Ghana cedis. I mean, less than $2. Look, I don't think we should laugh for too long, because for me, as a critical thinker as I am, I can't seem to understand why 15 Ghana cedi chicken would create this kind of desperation for people to troop and force just to get it. So yeah, you know, the reaction to that promotion reveals something about the Ghanaian society that maybe we are not taking notice of, and that is what I want to bring your attention to. Because when people are prepared to queue for hours, some are even sleeping around the day before the promotion, a crowd pushing, struggling, scrambling over a 15 Ghana cedi chicken, that I think we need to look beyond the chicken. We need to look at the bigger picture. So here is why it occurred to me. How many Ghanaians can actually afford KFC at its regular prices on a normal day? How many Ghanaians are able to afford KFC? Let's be honest with ourselves. How many people can wake up today and say, I have money in my pocket. If I want KFC chicken on a regular, I can go and buy it. And then you realize that, okay, maybe that's the reason. Because maybe what we saw yesterday wasn't simply people going crazy over a certain kind of chicken. No, maybe we were watching the purchasing power of ordinary Ghanaians. And remember, 15 Ghana cedis, as I keep stressing, is less than $2. You know another thing that got me? I thought the struggle would be mostly young people. When you look at some of the videos, just like I have said, you could see these elderly people, elderly women and men struggling with these young people for 15 Ghana cedis chicken. People who look like they had no business spending hours. I thought these people would never be there. They were in the queue just to get a piece of discounted chicken. And that alone made me realize three things. The first, which is unemployment, because if people have jobs, by weekend they are tired resting. Or some of the jobs, weekend you have to go to work, you don't have time to go and queue. But the most important thing I ask myself is, what conditions have created a society where people are willing to spend hours, fight, struggle for a discounted chicken? That is where the conversation becomes deeper. So when I saw what happened at KFC, I mean some of the branches, especially the this branch is a Ashaman, KNUS and other branches, I laughed less and I began to think more. Now hear me out on this one. And here's the part I want you to share. If you have been following me, you know I don't just rant about an issue. I always try to offer realistic and practical solutions. I believe that in the future, some of my videos may even be used as a reference for some of these conversations. And so here I go. You see, the whole issue in this KFC Wahala is what I am seeing, the purchasing power and food insecurity. And some Ghanaians are already actually coming up with solutions. One substantial example I want to talk about is the RNAQ Foundation Food Bank. So yeah, maybe a lot of people don't know that there is free food existing, or maybe its access is the problem. So yeah, the RNAQ Foundation has a food bank that gives free food. The foundation was established by a businessman named Richard Niamakwe, and it launched the food bank initiative to provide free meals to people who really, who really need them. It actually began with centers including the Odoko, I have seen that one before, Ashama, Madina, Teshi, and Kaswa. And then it expanded, and its expansion went to some parts of Kumasi, Tamale, and I think by now Cape Coast. So by the late 2025, some reports that I have read indicate that they have grown up to 12 centers, and they are doing well. I think they are expanding. And I want to say this clearly. This is something worth encouraging and emulating, because sometimes we talk about hunger as if the solution is only the responsibility of the government. But when individuals like Richard Niamakwe comes out with this initiative to make a difference, I don't understand why we are not promoting it, why we are not encouraging it. You see, businessmen who wants to make a difference should be encouraged, so that other businesses can join, churches can join, mosques can join, traditional authorities can join, philanthropists, other people who give can join. And yes, ultimately the government can make a much bigger difference. And here is where I asked the government this question. When you saw that initiative from Richard Niamakwe, the RNAQ Food Bank, did something occur to you? Did it occur to you to take an idea like this and scale it as a government who wants to meet the needs of the people? Because I thought as well that a government who wants to meet the needs of the people must first consider food before any other thing. Of course, Abraham Maslow's theory of needs suggests this simply, that every human being's first, immediate, most important need is food. And yet, it's simple. Food is the first need to be met. So, if anyone truly wants to help someone in his list of the things that he wants to help with, if food is taken out, actually the person is not meeting the actual needs of the people. But yeah, you see, Ghana is seeing the initiative of RNAQ, and Ghana is quiet. So coming back to the government, I'm asking, why is it that Ghana can't identify communities where food insecurity is particularly severe? We look at those communities and properly establish such centers. I'm not talking about political food centers, and I'm not referring to party food centers. Not centers where somebody has to know an MP or the assembly member or a political figure. No, not centers where somebody has to belong to a political party before they can get food to eat. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't think that is what RNAQ is doing. Just the fact that you are hungry, you don't have money to buy food, come and eat. Government has made a provision. Simple as that. And you see, I'm not saying government should feed every Ghanaian forever. Absolutely not. Because the ultimate solution to the hunger is not the food itself, and it's not free food. And I am very much aware of that. I am particularly drawn to RNAQ's idea because even me, when I was in the university, I had a similar idea. And honestly, watching what RNAQ is doing reminded me of that idea that I had at the university. And it is something that I called then time as food rescue, or if you want me to give it a bigger name, a Ghana Food Rescue Network. And this is the vision that I had. You see, let's just think about the amount of food that gets wasted every single day in Ghana. And these are coming from hotels, restaurants, event centers, supermarkets, some shops, conferences, weddings, funerals, parties, corporate events. You go to some of these events and you see mountains of food, a lot of food. A lot of people are around, they will eat, but yet a lot will be left. And when the event ends, I ask myself, what happens to the remaining food? I've been on 2 occasions at Kempinski Hotel where there was an event, and the food was so much that we ate and a lot was left. And so I asked one of the one of the ladies that were serving that, hey, so this remaining food, what do you do with them? And she smiled, but she told me that, well, sometimes they have a pond and they have fishes that they sometimes serve those fishes with. So some of these foods are not even touched. And to be clear, I'm not even talking about food that somebody has eaten and left over. I'm not talking about food that has been served to somebody's plate and the person didn't touch. No. I'm not talking about spoiled food, not at all. And I'm not talking about an expired food. No. I'm talking about safe surplus food that was prepared but never served or consumed. And if that food is still safe, why should the only destination be the bin? Okay, now imagine this. Imagine a hotel has a wedding reception. The budgeted number of people that they made the food for were 500 people, and only 400 people actually ate the food, because some people go to the event and they don't even eat. So you have 100 portions of the food untouched. That's what I call the surplus. So instead of throwing it away or sending it to the fishes, which of course some hotels do, and even with that, I still believe there will be surplus because the fishes cannot consume all of it. What if that food left over could be collected by an accredited food rescue team? A team that we have set up, properly handled, properly inspected, properly packaged, properly labeled, and delivered to a food center, because we have set food centers at vantage points where we truly know that people in these areas will actually need it. Now just imagine that every day we are doing this. We are taking it from the hotels, the restaurants, the supermarkets, the airlines, event centers, corporate cafeterias, food manufacturers. They are all contributing their safe surplus to this initiative. And these foods are redirected to people who truly are hungry and need them. This is what I mean by food rescue, and that is the vision I caught when I was at the university. When I saw RNAQ doing it, I was so impressed. Yes, I didn't have the means to start it, but I believe that we can do more. And you see, this is not just any ordinary initiative. This is an initiative that can even create an entire system, and the system that can employ some of these unemployed youth. Imagine we have a national platform, then a hotel logs in. The hotel can call in and say, hello, we have 100 safe surplus meals available. Quickly, a certified food rescue team receives the notification. They act quickly, go and collect it. The food is checked, and then it is packaged, it is labeled with the appropriate information, and it is delivered to the nearby food centers that we have. The center then distributes it to the people who need it. This is no shame. This is no political connection, no begging. And at the end of the day, no food is actually going waste. We could also be creating an entire food rescue and redistribution industry that can grow big, that other African countries can emulate. This can become a blueprint for Ghana that other countries can emulate. And this is very doable. So for now, I don't want to go much deeper into the technical side today. No, I have a lot to say about this initiative, but let me end it here. But then if there are people interested in this idea, I really want you to get in touch. Let's sit at a table and I can explain the idea in much more detail and with clarity. So for me, what happened at KFC should tell us more than simply, mocking at those people who went there and laughing at what happened over there. We should start asking, how do we build a Ghana where nobody has to fight over Ghana 15 cedis food discount? Because ultimately, I don't want Ghana to become a country where philanthropists are constantly feeding hungry citizens whilst government watches from the sideline. The government should be concerned, and the government must see some of these initiatives as important and get involved. And yes, of course, the churches, the mosques, the traditional leaders, they should all get involved. Other businesses should get involved. Hotels and restaurants get involved. Shops and other supermarkets get involved. Everyone getting involved. Let's all come together. Let's create a national food rescue network that safely redirects surplus food to people who really need it. So in ending, I would like to congratulate KFC Ghana on their 50th anniversary celebration. In fact, your 15 Ghana cedi promotion certainly gave Ghana something to talk about, and it gave us something to really think about. But it also revealed something deeper: the hunger, the poverty, the unemployment, the purchasing power, the food waste, and the dignity of the Ghanaian people. Because yesterday, Ghana didn't just queue for your chicken, KFC. Perhaps Ghana queued to remind you of something that maybe you have been ignoring. That there are still too many people struggling to afford your regular prices that you have. And so KFC, here's my question: why not let the 15 Ghana cedi stay from now onwards? Or maybe I am asking far more too much. Well, don't mind me. So yeah, in ending my advocacy for a Ghana where safe surplus food is rescued instead of wasted, just ask the Master Jesus himself, who actually could feed the whole world, will care. Listen to this: he cares about the surplus. And that happened when he fed about 5,000 people, over 5,000 people. And there were surplus. There were some of them lying. And I mean, some of them, he asked his disciples to pick all the pieces, gather all of them, all the surplus, because he doesn't want to see any of them go waste. And that is what I am seeing also. A country where we have come together so that surpluses don't end in the dustbin, but goes to the right people who really need it. And that will curb hunger situation in Ghana. And most importantly, I want to see a Ghana where people can feed themselves with dignity. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me end here. I am Sikadwa Kofi, and this is my point of view as usual. If today is your first time watching me, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. And trust me, you will always come back to meet more meaningful conversations. God bless you, and it is bye-bye for now.